And thank you very much for joining the channel. So we're taking some brief times during this World Cup period to address some footballing issues, particularly related to the World Cup. And today, thank God for catching you all here. I'm sure that a lot of people are in strong anticipation for the match between Ghana and Uruguay tomorrow, 2nd of December 2022. A win in that game which could propel the Black Stars to the knockout stage of the World Cup. And Uruguay have become very synonymous with heartbreak in terms of Ghana. They've become rivals for, since that 2010 incident. The Uruguayans have become very bitter rivals of the Black Stars, and every Ghanaian, every African anywhere doesn't want to hear about Uruguay in any conversation, especially related to football. But there is one question before I come to the Uruguay game. I'm sure that a lot of you are particularly concerned about why Uruguay had to select or nominate Lius Suarez to attend the presser today. Obviously, Lius Suarez is not a key player in this Uruguayan team, a key player as in an informed player, to be very honest. It is expected that he even starts from bench if rumors and speculations from his own country are to be true. But Uruguay decided to select Lius Suarez to represent them at the pre-match conference, particularly because they know how influential he is in the confines of Ghana, within the Ghanaian football sphere. How influential Lius Suarez is, and how they can use Lius Suarez to incite emotions, evoke emotions of Ghanaians, and to have more Ghanaians talking about the game. And when you have more Ghanaians talking about the game, basically you are putting more pressure on the team. This is what I believe. They tried to nominate Lius Suarez, say, Nakokasa, you are the one supposed to talk. And I'm sure that for everybody who knows about Lius Suarez, everybody who knows about Uruguayan football, that is their style. And they are schemers. They engage in what the book, White Angels of Argentina Football, the book defines as dark arts of football. Uruguayans are people who engage in the dark arts of football. They scheme. So that is what they got us in 2010. Or more planet, they specifically plan to go to the field to do this. And this has been the behavior and character of Lius Suarez. And all of you who know about Darwin Núñez of Liverpool, and Fede Valverde, and Fernando Muslera, all the top Uruguayan defense, Diego Godin, they have a particular way of inciting people, on stepping on people's emotions. This is what their football is about. It is with South American football, but particularly the people who have perfected this are the Uruguayans. And I believe that the nomination of Lius Suarez to attend the pre-match conference is particularly to incite Ghanaians, to evoke emotions of Ghanaians. Attention will be on the game. Once there is attention on the game, then the Ghanaians will be under pressure to revenge. Revenge what? One, Lius Suarez doesn't owe any Ghanaian an apology. This is something that we must all keep on emphasizing. Lius Suarez doesn't owe any Ghanaian or African an apology. Lius Suarez played for his team, and football is about winning. Football is about helping your team in any possible way to win, legally or illegally. Legally, you win. Illegally, if you are caught, you get the punishment for that. And if your team still goes ahead to win, you've won. That's why there are players, apart from Lius Suarez, there are so many players who have cheated in a game. There are so many players who keep on cheating. That is why there is VAR. That is why there is goal line technology. There are players who can. Look at what happened between Lius Suarez and Habib Beye in Egypt 2006. He basically prevented Lius Suarez from playing that game, and consequently not even joining the Black Stars for the World Cup. So we do not have to go into this game, Lius Suarez owes us an apology. We have to go and punish him. Let's emphasize and let's make it clear that Lius Suarez won for his team. Every other Ghanaian who is passionate enough would have done same or even worse of what Suarez did. So if we do not stop this, Lius Suarez owes us an apology, we have to punish Suarez. Suarez is not a key player in this team. We are going into this team to play against the likes of Bentancur. We are going to play against Fede Valverde, Darwin Núñez. These are the players that we should be concerned. Suarez is still dangerous, but we are going to play Uruguay. We are not going to play against the Uruguayan side of 2010. And for that fact, we need to revenge. There is no revenge anywhere. If we go into that game thinking of revenge, Ghanaians will come out of that game more bitter than we did in 2010. Because we have the upper hand. We have our work cut out for us. If we are able to draw against Uruguay, we stand a very high chance of progressing to the next stage of the World Cup. What do we need to go and beat Uruguay at all costs and punish them? If we win, fine. But they are now under pressure. Why are they trying to turn the pressure on Ghanaians? Clearly, if you can listen and read from the pre-match conference, the Uruguayans are trying to turn the pressure on Ghanaians. They have 1 point. We have 3 points. We need 1 point to be able to progress. Even if you don't need 1 point, I'm thinking that Portugal may lose to South Korea or whatever. We just need to win against Uruguay or draw. What is the design to be able to get the needed points to progress? The design should not be about, we should even take out the fact that we are playing Uruguay. That is basically it. We should take out, we should exclude or exempt from our thoughts the fact that we are playing Uruguay. We are playing an opponent in the World Cup. Whether it's Uruguay or not, we are not going in for a revenge. Otherwise, they will turn the pressure on us. They will turn everything onto us. That as if Ghana is going into this game without a point. We are going into the game with 3 points. They have 1. We are superior in the group. We need to play according to our plan and not play according to what Uruguayans are saying and thinking. 2010 is past and gone. It's been 12 years for God knows why and how. Why do we have to let Uruguay revenge be the talk of town? There are so many games that Ghana has lost in AFCON at the World Cup because we failed to prepare and psych our minds. The pre-game talks entered into the players. I have been following the Black Stars for some time. In 2013, a 2012 AFCON in Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Ghana had the best of opportunity to qualify to the final and win it. Senegal had gone out, all the big teams were out, Cameroon, Nigeria. It was left with Ghana and Ivory Coast. And then, before we even beat Zambia, the underdogs, in the semi-finals, the Black Stars and Ghanaian fans had already started talking about going to revenge against Ivory Coast for Senegal 92. We were supposed to prepare for the semi-final game against Hervé Renard's Zambia. Then the talks in Ghana, the media, and it entered into the players that Ivory Coast have already qualified. Ghana is yet to play in the semi-finals against Zambia. But the talk in Ghana was from authorities of the officials of the team to the fans, the masses, which literally transmitted to the players. Ghanaians were preparing to go and do a revenge against Ivory Coast because of AFCON 92, Senegal 92, they beat us in the final. We have an opportunity, we have the best team. So now that we are here, we are going to beat them. At the end of the day, Zambia, by Mayuka and co, beat us by 1-0 in the semi-final. Clearly, we were not prepared for that game because the talks was about Ghana going to beat Ivory Coast in the final and revenge. These things do not help. And I'm glad that Otoado and his technical team are very smart on this and not letting this enter into the players. It is not about Lius Suarez and Portugal. Ghana is playing a World Cup opponent. Ghana has 3 points. Ghana stands superior. Ghana can design and implement a game plan to be able to get the needed points to progress. without looking at the opponents, without looking at the background of the match, without going into why we need a revenge, we can basically design a game plan to suit us and win.